I remember the night it happened. The moon was full, casting a silver glow over the village. The drums from the evening festival had just begun to fade when I heard the whispers. Low, hurried, full of excitement. They spoke her name, Haduni. She was beautiful, more than anyone I had ever seen. Her skin was a deep rich color of roasted cocoa, and her eyes sparkled like river stones kissed by the sun. She walked with grace, her head always high, but others whispered. Some said she would never marry, while some called her cursed just because she was beautiful. And yet, Adewale, the bravest warrior in the village, loved her. I saw it with my own eyes. The way he looked at her, the way he smiled only for her. I thought it was a love that could never break, but I was wrong. That night, the whispers came from Olaide and Fumi, Aduni's closest friends, or at least so she thought. I watched them disappear into the chief's hut, their voices eager, their faces smug. My heart felt uneasy, though I did not yet know why. By morning, the village was in chaos. Aduni had been accused of something terrible, something unthinkable. The chief's sacred beads were missing, and they claimed Adunu had stolen them. My heart slammed against my ribs. Caught, stolen. How? I know Aduni well. Everyone did. She was kind, gentle, and walked through life like a queen. But that night, the village turned against her. I pushed through the crowd that gathered in the chief's courtyard. In the center of it all, kneeling in the dirt, was Aduni, crying profusely. Facing her with smug smiles and false sorrow stood Olaide and Fumi as supposed best friends. She stole the chief's sacred beads, Olaide cried out, her voice dripping with practiced heartbreak. We saw it with our own eyes, Fumi added. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The chief's sacred beads were powerful, passed down through generations. Whoever stole them would be banished or worse, cursed. Adoni's lips trembled. She shook her head. I did not take them. Her voice was small but clear. Liar, Fumi spat. Olaide stepped forward, placing a fake comforting hand on Adoni's shoulder. We know why you did it, sister. She said it loudly for everyone to hear. You were jealous. You knew Adewale would never marry you. A shocked murmur spread through the crowd. My breath caught in my throat. Adewale. Everyone knew Adewale the warrior. He was strong, fearless, the son of the chief's closest friend. He has his pick of any maiden in the village. And yet, he loved Aduni. But it has always been a quiet love. He did not flaunt it, did not shout it, but it was in his eyes when he watched her. But how? He stood frozen. Olaide turned to him, tears welling in her eyes, fake and lying tears. Adewale, we are your friends. You deserve a matured woman, a woman that is not childish. The crowd buzzed with murmurs. Childish? Matured? They did not say it openly, but I knew what they meant. Aduni is soft-spoken. She was not like the other maidens. And for the first time, Aduni's eyes wavered. She turned to Adewale. Tell them I did not do this. Adewale's jaw tightened. His eyes met Aduni's. Then slowly, he looked away. He held up in Aduni's eyes. But she did not let them fall. I knew her well. She would not break in front of them. she would not give them the satisfaction. The chief stepped forward. He raised his hand, and the crowd fell silent. Aduni, he said, his voice deep and authoritative. Because of your crime, you will be judged by the gods. If you are guilty, you will face the punishment. And if you are innocent, the gods will reveal the truth. The punishment was clear: banishment. Aduni lowered her gaze. The village she had loved, the people she had cared for, had turned against her simply because of two jealous friends. But as she was dragged away to await judgment, I saw something in her eyes. Not fear, not even sadness, but something stronger. That night, the village was restless. The skies were heavy with clouds. A strange unease settled over us all. But the biggest storm was happening in Adoni's heart. I could not sleep. I tossed and turned. My mind was racing. Something was definitely wrong. I had known Olaide and Fumi for years. They had always been envious of Adoni. They smile in her face, but whisper behind her back. And now they had stolen her life. I had to do something. I can't just fold my hands. I crept out of my hut and made my way towards the elders' hut, where the village kept sacred objects, including the chief's missing beads. Something tells me the truth was waiting there. The elders' hut was dark, but moonlight spilled through the cracks in the walls. My heart pounded as I searched the shelves, my fingers trembling. And then I found them. The chief's beads, stuffed inside a small clay pot, hidden beneath old ceremonial clothes. My stomach twisted. Oh, Adoni had been framed. Yes, I knew it. And there's no other way to prove it. I turned to leave and froze. Because standing in the doorway, with eyes wide open with shock, was Olaide. She lunged at me. You should have stayed out of this. I ducked just in time. She wasn't just a liar. She was also dangerous. I sprinted towards the chief's palace, my lungs burning. If only I could just reach the council before sunrise, I could save Adoni. Morning came too soon. Adoni stood in the village square facing the elders. Her fate was moments away from being sealed. Olaide and Fumi stood beside Adewale, pretending to be heartbroken. Then, just before the chief could give his verdict, I stepped forward. Wait! I shouted, my voice echoing. The crowd turned. Gasp filled the air because of what they saw in my hands. The stolen beads. Olaide and Fumi paled. I told the crowd everything. How I found the beads. How Olaide attacked me. How Adoni had been betrayed by the very people she trusted. The crowd roared with anger, shock, and betrayal. The chief turned to Adoni, his eyes full of regret. My child, you have been wronged. And you, he turned to Olaide and Fumi, his expression dark. You will face the God's judgment. Olaide dropped to her knees. Please, my lord, we only wanted to protect Adewale. But Fumi turned to Adewale, her voice sharp. You knew we were lying, but you let her suffer. Adewale's face was pale. He opened his mouth, but no words came. He had chosen his pride over love, and now he had lost everything. The chief exiled Olaide and Fumi. They left the village in disgrace. And as for Aduni, she had been cleared of all wrongdoing. But she did not return to the life she had before. No. She left the village not in shame, but in power. She had survived betrayal, heartbreak, and humiliation, but she had come out stronger. And as she walked away her head high, I knew one thing. Aduni was destined for greatness. And for the village, they would forever remember the day they betrayed a woman who was more powerful than any of them.